I say, not run. Don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone.
He's amazing. He's like the white Muhammad Ali. He might not talk like Muhammad Ali, but he is the Muhammad Ali of the last generation.
With an all-time great. Not a generational great, an all-time great. A generational great would almost dictate that Oleksandr Usyk is just a great in the last 10, 15 years. No. Oleksandr Usyk is a great.
Oleksandr Usyk responded to Floyd Mayweather's claim by saying, "Boxing is a sport for gentlemen, not a street fight." He emphasized that true fighters don't just run or talk big, they prove themselves in the ring.
Hey, listen, boxing, it's sport and the gentleman. It's not a street fight. It's a boxing. Listen, boxing. It's a boxing.
Say it again.
Do you think he was being dirty during the whole fight?
I don't have idea. I have no idea.
No.
Maybe.
Meanwhile, analysts highlight the striking difference between Oleksandr Usyk and Floyd Mayweather, noting that Usyk carries himself without arrogance or ego. They admire how Usyk remains humble despite his accomplishments, in contrast to Mayweather, who still believes he's superior to everyone in the sport. Usyk's grounded attitude and respect for boxing set him apart, showing that greatness doesn't always come with pride or self-glorification.
One of the best of all time. I know a lot of people are kind of probably going to hear me say that and say, you're going too far, you're this, that. Because I've seen that straight away. As soon as Usyk did that, he's 2-time undisputed heavyweight, 1-time cruiserweight, 3-time undisputed. His resume, yes, look, at heavyweight, it's a lot of rematches. But it's the way he's doing it.
Yeah.
And he's not just, okay, he could have 10 world... Deontay Wilder has 10 world title defenses.
Yeah.
Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury are the only ones you really have any kind of weight to them. Usyk is taking on the perceived either number 1 or number 2 in these defenses.
Yeah.
Fury perceived number 1. AJ at the time 1. Dubois number 2. He's taking like, all right, who's the next in line? All right, I'm fighting him.
Yeah.
That's the way he's doing it.
And he's doing it in a way in which is so beautiful to watch.
Derek Chisora has spoken highly of Oleksandr Usyk's incredible mindset and boxing ability. He described Usyk as a mentally tough and disciplined fighter who approaches the sport with relentless focus. Chisora even joked that to beat someone like Usyk, a person would need to be sick, emphasizing just how challenging and frustrating it is to fight him. He praised Usyk's movement, intelligence, and calmness under pressure, calling him a true master in the ring. Chisora acknowledged that while Usyk may look friendly outside the ring, inside, he becomes a dangerous and unstoppable force that's hard to break.
Listen, what I'm saying is this, yeah. To beat Oleksandr Usyk, you have to be mentally disturbed in your head, yeah?
You have to be mentally disturbed.
Yeah, because you have to understand.
Well, to take the fight in the first place.
Yeah, because when I saw him a couple of months ago,
Yeah.
I had a coffee with him, we were just chatting. The guy lives in Ukraine.
Yep.
Yeah. He goes, oh, before I came on the plane, I was sleeping in my house, and then those missiles were going over my house, and I didn't want to go in the bunker. I was like, ugh, I'll just go to sleep. There's some craziness, isn't it? I mean, like, imagine you now, you're in your house in Barna, Timbuktu, and then missiles are going. What are you gonna be like?
Yeah, he's cut from very different stuff.
Yeah,
isn't he?
exactly.
He's
So,
cut from
and
very
then
different
remember,
stuff.
so you have to come in there looking to go to the other side because he's looking to go to the other side. Mate, can you do us a favor? Can you stop beating us up? No.
Derek Chisora has compared Oleksandr Usyk to Muhammad Ali, calling him the Ali of this generation. He praised Usyk's footwork, timing, and ring IQ, noting that his ability to move so lightly for a heavyweight is rare. Chisora highlighted how Usyk doesn't rely on brute strength, but outsmarts his opponents with grace and precision. According to Chisora, Usyk's calm demeanor and confidence remind him of Ali's style, fighting with both flair and intelligence. He said watching Usyk is like witnessing poetry in motion, and that the Ukrainian has brought a refreshing elegance to modern heavyweight boxing, much like Ali once did.
Everybody gets it wrong. You don't box this guy. It's like, how can I explain it to you in a way you understand? You can't box him.
He's just too good.
He's just unbelievable great. Yeah, forget good, he's amazing. Yeah, he's great, he's amazing. He's like the white Muhammad Ali. He might not talk like Muhammad Ali, but he is the Muhammad Ali of the last generation. You understand? We have to give him the credit where it's due.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is that guy.
Renowned boxing promoter Eddie Hearn has joined the growing list of experts who believe Oleksandr Usyk is more than just a champion. He's a once-in-a-generation fighter. Hearn, who has worked with numerous world-class athletes, emphasized the rarity of Usyk's skill set, calling him one of the most gifted technicians the sport has seen in decades. His seamless transition from cruiserweight to heavyweight, while maintaining his speed, timing, and composure, has stunned observers across the boxing world. Hearn's recognition isn't just casual praise, it reflects how deeply Usyk has reshaped expectations for modern heavyweights.
Just, you're talking about one of the great generational. I watched the first 2 rounds, and Dubois looked really dangerous. Came out, backed him up, and then Usyk just decided, I can't allow him to back me up, so I'm going to go on the front foot and box aggressive here. And he knocked him spark out. Unbelievable. Just a true generational great.
With his latest dominant performance, Usyk has surged into the top tier of boxing history. Analysts now place him as the 4th greatest fighter of all time, a position rarely granted to active boxers. This acknowledgement isn't solely based on victories, but on the quality of opponents, the manner of his wins, and the consistency with which he has excelled. His ability to adapt across weight classes while defeating elite fighters on their home turf speaks volumes. Ranking him among the best ever is no longer a stretch. It's a statement backed by data, performance, and legacy.
Now, what's yours, Jerry? What's yours?
Oleksandr is the 4th greatest fighter on my personal all-time list.
Wow.
It's number 4. He's only behind Ali.
Oh, on your all-time list?
All-time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Only behind Floyd, Ali, and Manny. So, I'm really high on Oleksandr.
Oleksandr Usyk is more than just a champion. He is a symbol of technical brilliance and tactical excellence. His calm demeanor outside the ring is the complete opposite of his razor-sharp instincts inside it. He doesn't fight for attention, doesn't trash-talk endlessly, and doesn't chase the spotlight. Instead, Usyk allows his performance to speak for him.
The WBO, Frank Warner very close. Joseph Parker is obviously a Queensberry fighter. So, you know, there could be potential that they do what they did with this fight, what they did with the Dubois fight. It also means as well that, and maybe this is why, potentially it's because Riyadh season shows from November onwards, and I doubt we'll see Oleksandr Usyk in the ring this year because it's only July, but he's only fought, and I would imagine Usyk is going to be one of these 6 to 8 month type of guys. You know, that's the way he's been over the last 2 years. So you're looking probably February next year at the earliest when he finally fights again. So for me, it's like, right, well, that will be after the Riyadh and Ring Magazine's pay-per-views end, as in they're not going to be doing pay-per-view anymore. Maybe they look at that fight and think, Usyk Parker, it's a fight that, with the greatest respect, and Oleksandr Usyk is a very big name, it maybe does need that pay-per-view wall behind it in order to facilitate the purses that they could potentially forking out for it. So maybe that's why Riyadh season won't do it. Now, DAZN obviously have not ruling out pay-per-views, they're still going to do pay-per-views.
Oleksandr Usyk's resume speaks volumes. He has dismantled world champions and rising stars alike, and his victory over Daniel Dubois only strengthened that reputation. Dubois, a physically imposing and powerful heavyweight, posed a serious challenge on paper, but Usyk neutralized him with strategic brilliance. Despite his dominance, Usyk never allowed arrogance to creep in. He remains grounded, never declaring himself the greatest, even when the world starts to do so. His humility contrasts sharply with the modern tendency for showmanship. In a sport often ruled by ego, Usyk's quiet confidence is a refreshing exception.
You know, it was sort of broken up in different directions. Even I wasn't sure because although I believe Usyk is the fighter of the generation in this weight class, he's at an age where, you know, overnight you sort of show up and you don't have it anymore. You know, Ali randomly lost to Leon Spinks around this age and whatnot. You know, so you know you could get where all of a sudden, you know, it's not there on the night. So and you know you had
heavyweights takes 1 second, one split second you're off.
Yeah, exactly. And you also had a very motivated Dubois to add to that second. You know, who's a very powerful puncher and has sort of this bully mentality when he gets you in an uncomfortable position. But you know, Usyk, you know, flawless performance technically, you know, stepping out to that weak side consistently, mixing up the jabs, making things uncomfortable for Dubois rhythm-wise.
He seemed more aggressive, right? Normally, I think with some of the bigger guys, he slides to the weak side, slides to the weak side. This was different.
I think with Dubois, the psychology is kind of out of the bag in that you got to kind of bully the bully, and Dubois came out trying to bully him a little bit, so he started touching him and hitting him, and he started taking it to him because you start backing him up, you start putting him in a situation where he starts to doubt himself, and Dubois doesn't really come back from that very often. As a matter of fact,
he doesn't bend, he breaks.
In the fight, I thought he's a little bit awkward, Dubois. I don't know, but
he's one of those awkward strong guys.
Yeah,
he's just like super strong, awkward as hell.
He goes down and he takes the full count, and then he just gets up at 10 and walks across the ring right in front of Usyk, who's celebrating middle of the ring, like with his hands up in the air. Just casually walks right by Usyk's celebration as if he didn't just get counted out to 10.
Foreman Ali. Remember, he walks right to his corner.
Yeah, but I was like, dude, you could have got up. You waited to 10, and then
he was a beaten man.
You waited to 10, and then not only you get up, you don't even have the presence of mind to realize like I'm walking right into the picture where he's celebrating.
But Paulie, he was a beaten man before the first knockdown.
What makes Usyk truly special is that the praise he receives isn't limited to his era. Boxing fans, former champions, and analysts now discuss him in the same breath as the sport's eternal icons. He isn't just the best of this decade. He's considered one of the best ever. The historical significance of his accomplishments is already being written, and his performances are being archived as lessons in mastery. Becoming undisputed in multiple divisions, defeating champions in their prime, and doing so with such class and intelligence makes his place in boxing history undeniable.
He tried to jab, he tried to throw that right hand, and he landed that right hand a couple of times, by the way. He got Oleksandr Usyk in the corner, and he was trying to work. But ultimately, he's in there with an all-time great. Not a generational great, an all-time great. A generational great would almost dictate that Oleksandr Usyk is just a great in the last 10, 15 years. No. Oleksandr Usyk is a great since boxing began. Since boxing began, people. Understand what we're watching here. We're not watching a generational great. We're watching an all-time great. That's what Daniel Dubois was in there with. There is a discussion in my brain right now as I'm talking to you about where Oleksandr Usyk is when it comes to the best heavyweights of all time. Like in my head right now, I'm thinking, who beats him?
A rising debate in boxing circles revolves around whether Usyk has surpassed legends like Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather in pure boxing ability. While Ali was iconic and Floyd unbeaten, critics argue that Mayweather's resume doesn't stack up the same way when it comes to the quality of opposition during their peak years. Unlike Floyd, who often relied on defense and marketing, Usyk's reputation is built solely on skill and bravery.
Interesting heavyweight division, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought of Usyk's performance, where he ranks on the all-time list. I know, everybody was big into their nostalgia, but remember, Soviets were not turning pro until the 90s, and I think that makes a big difference. That's another thing. Heavyweights are bigger. Lefties are more common now, and also the Soviet era of fighters did not start turning pro until the 90s. So the old days, they didn't have to deal with those guys. So a lot of things that also favor Usyk being a GOAT. But of course, man, it's hard to pick against Ali being the GOAT.
Ben Davison, a respected name in boxing, added his voice to those hailing Usyk's greatness. Davison underlined the fact that Usyk has conquered both the cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions, an extremely rare feat in boxing. Becoming undisputed in both categories puts him in a class of his own. It shows his adaptability, resilience, and consistency, traits that only a select few have ever possessed. Davison's praise is especially meaningful because it comes from someone who studies boxing not as a fan, but as a trainer who understands the technical depths of the sport.
Makes it obviously another thing for you about.
Really a good time for me to talk about that sort of thing. So.
Besides just how good is Oleksandr Usyk? We've seen him now come into the heavyweight division, fight a Derek Chisora, fight Anthony Joshua twice, fight Tyson Fury twice, and he's the undisputed heavyweight. Well, he was until obviously the belt let go. But what do you make of him as a fighter? Just sum him up, special fighter.
Yeah, he's put himself in the mix to be. He's put himself in the mix as one of the greatest heavyweights that's ever been. So. Undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight, amazing.
Usyk's journey has been anything but easy. He never padded his record with weak opponents or waited for ideal conditions. From the beginning, he sought out tough fights, even if they meant traveling into hostile territory. Whether it was facing undefeated champions or crowd favorites, Usyk chose challenges that others might avoid. This warrior mentality has earned him enormous respect. He believes that greatness must be earned through struggle, and that belief defines every step he's taken in his career. In an era where many boxers protect their records, Usyk chose the path of risk, and it's paying off.
Usyk has dropped Daniel Dubois! What a shot! I'm sorry. I can't help it, man. I fucking love this. Honestly, I fucking love this game. He's missed it! It's over! It's over! Incredible time! Fuck me. I'm sorry for going on like a lunatic, right? But it was unbelievable. And it's funny how this fight all came about, right? The controversy in the last fight, which for me was never controversial. It was a low blow, simple as that. And I don't think we've ever seen Oleksandr Usyk ever look for an easy way to win. In fact, I think of all the fighters on planet Earth, he is the one who takes the hardest road to win. There's no tune-up fights for Oleksandr Usyk. It's the biggest fight in a heavier weight than he should even be fighting at, and he makes life harder for himself, not easier. And I think he has proven his character time and time again. But yet he was accused of not being, you know, a real Christian because he was a cheat. He was accused of deserving an Oscar because he was a play actor and robbing Daniel Dubois of what should have rightfully been his, which was a world title. And after the Tyson Fury fight, Daniel Dubois stepped in the ring and called him out. And Oleksandr Usyk immediately turns to Turki Al-Sheikh and says, Mr. Excellency, make the fight. He had no problem in setting this up. And immediately you kind of think he was in the middle of talking about his, you know, his father, I think at the time, it was an emotional moment. That's a time where when you've accomplished what he's done, you deserve respect. And I think he was disrespected there. And I think he took that personally, in the words of Michael Jordan. Now, in the first round, Oleksandr Usyk did exactly what he needed to do to Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois coming in with a load of confidence, wanting to be the aggressor, wanting to be the dominant bull that he was against Anthony Joshua.
Dave Coldwell, another sharp boxing mind, has noted that Usyk's activity level and accuracy are nearly unmatched in the heavyweight division. While most heavyweights rely on bursts of power, Usyk keeps a steady, relentless rhythm, landing with precision and wearing down his opponents. Coldwell stressed how Usyk's bodywork and pace control make him so difficult to handle. He doesn't allow opponents to rest or reset.
Pick up the pace, and you just still can't go with it. It takes, you know, it does have an effect. But what I'm trying to say is Usyk's work to the body, the volume of body punches. I'd like to see the stats on body punching, be it straights, be it a jab, be it backhands, whatever. Because Usyk's volume of body work is what I thought was the difference in the fight. His lead hand activity was probably the best it's been since he's been at heavyweight, maybe. I thought he took away, you know, we were all talking about the Fury right uppercut going into the fight because he had a lot of success. We were all talking about what Tyson's going to do. But, you know, I said Usyk's clever. His people, they're going to look at that and see what they can do better.
Paulie Malignaggi, a former world champion and skilled analyst, described Usyk's recent performance as a technical masterpiece. He was impressed by how fluid and balanced Usyk remained throughout the entire bout. According to Malignaggi, Usyk's ability to use angles and movement allowed him to stay safe while delivering damage. His ring IQ, foot placement, and timing were all nearly flawless.
Dubois in their rematch stops him early. Was it 4 or 5? I don't even. I'm so caught up in the moment. I don't even know which round it was. It was 4 or 5. But man, it was in the first half of the fight. What a performance by Oleksandr Usyk. And a lot to discuss here, guys. A lot to break down here. First off, you know, Dubois much more successful in the first fight than the second fight. Was the wet ring? Did the wet ring have anything to do with it? I saw in the post-fight interview, Dubois was asked about why he couldn't land his jab. What do you guys think? Was obviously Usyk's going to make some adjustments. I think the adjustments are going to be made in rematches. But did the wet ring? Because I thought the wet ring had a big part to do with why Usyk had some trouble in that first fight. And, you know, a wet ring hurts footwork guys more. I was a footwork guy. I've worked out sometimes in wet rings. It's frustrating. I've actually thrown temper tantrums in gyms over rings being too wet. So, you know, I mean, back in the day, not now. But what I'm saying is, you know, to fight in a wet ring, that had to have some effect on Usyk and his footwork, because he's a footwork guy. And tonight you just saw his footwork was stupendous, magnificent.
According to Roos Anber, Usyk entered the ring recently with a quiet fury. Despite all his accomplishments, some voices in boxing, especially from British media and certain fans, continued to downplay his greatness. Anber said Usyk felt overlooked, as if his legacy hadn't yet been fully recognized. That inner frustration translated into purpose. Usyk didn't just want to win, he wanted to make a statement. He boxed with intensity, determination, and clarity, proving not only to his critics but to the world that he's not just a champion, but a legacy-defining athlete who deserves every bit of the spotlight.
I think he went out there with bad intentions, didn't he? I think he was on a mission to prove that, 38 isn't old yet. And I was talking to some other guys, including Richie Woodall, and saying that, he's gotten better. If you look at his last 3 fights, the first Fury fight, second Fury fight, and this one, each one has gotten better, more dominating each time. So, age is a number, I guess. When you're in the gym all the time, it takes a long time to age.
When we spoke on Thursday, I could tell you were genuinely confident, but did you believe it could be so early and so conclusive?
No, I'd be lying to you if I said that. No. I thought it could be dominating. I thought he was doing the things that I think Dubois did, what I expected him to do, and Usyk did what I expected him to do. He controlled, moved, waited, but then he started landing hard.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next time.